A Michigan GOP lawmaker wants to ban Planned Parenthood and any other organization that, quote, provides abortion or abortion counseling from teaching sex education in Michigan schools. Now, the funny thing about this is that this bill was introduced by State Representative Tom Hooker. I know. Okay, so what would this bill do? Well, this bill, in its language, would prohibit a pupil to practice with a family planning drug or device in a public school or on public school property. So basically putting condoms on bananas or cucumbers to practice, you know, how to do it right. Now, it's a surprising fact that a lot of people don't do it right. All right, so Hooker goes on to explain his rationale for this bill. Quote, it's illegal to hand out condoms to young people as they exit the class. But what they're doing is they're handing out the condoms in class, they're practicing on a cucumber or something similar, familiarizing themselves with the use, and then Planned Parenthood conveniently tells them that they can get the devices at Planned Parenthood clinics and how easy it is to get them without the knowledge of parents. Well, so far, I think that sounds fine. That actually sounds good, reasonable. Hey, here's how to use it. Here's where you can get some so you can practice safe sex. That's good. What's your problem? Well, he goes on to say, the only dealing that I did with birth control devices when I was a teacher. Oh, could you imagine this guy being a teacher? Ugh. Anyway, was that I gave students the failure rates of all the different methods of birth control. Now, the failure rate obviously tells you there is not safe sex except saved sex. To avoid sex is the only guarantee that you're not going to get pregnant. Well, he is right in the fact that the only guaranteed way to not get pregnant is obviously to not have sex. Now, on that, you try telling the human beings not to fuck. You're not going to get very far. My guess is the results are not going to be effective. They're going to be less than effective. Look at states like Mississippi. Look at states like New Mexico. Look at states that have abstinence-only sex education programs or no sex ed at all. My guess is that when you look at that, you're going to find, actually, it's not a guess, there are actual facts and statistics that show that they have higher rates of teen pregnancy, unplanned pregnancy. Imagine that. Telling people not to fuck doesn't work. All right. So, however, the next best thing to prevent pregnancy is using different forms of birth control. But not just using them, but using them correctly. There is a method that you have to use to get it right. Now, that involves, of course, proper instruction on how to use them. There is a higher failure rate that he points out if you don't use them correctly. And as I said, a lot of people don't use them correctly. Now, here's where it gets to the real meat of this issue. I almost regret saying that. Now, he says that this isn't just about preventing kids, teenagers, from practicing using condoms on bananas and cucumbers. That's not what this is about. This is about an attack on Planned Parenthood. He doesn't like Planned Parenthood. This bill specifically prohibits an individual or entity that provides abortion or abortion counseling and referral services from teaching sex ed in schools. Why? Because according to Hooker, groups like Planned Parenthood use sex ed to get more abortion business. Quote, there's a perverse incentive for an organization like Planned Parenthood to get into the sex education business. It's a conflict in that they give out or sell condoms, they offer pregnancy tests and STD testing, and obviously if they're pregnant, then they would offer an abortion. It just seems like an awfully comfortable arrangement for Planned Parenthood to teach sex education. No, you idiot. You fucking moron. The whole idea of comprehensive sex education is in birth control is to prevent unplanned pregnancy and prevent abortions. That's the whole point. And the other thing is that, look, we're human beings, right? It's part of our nature, the need to have sex. It's wired into our brains. And we're going to fuck. And guess what? We enjoy fucking. It's fun. We enjoy doing it. And we're wired to do it. That's human nature. Now, those of us who live in the fact-based world know that people, if given the opportunity, they're going to have sex. It's only natural. And so the best way to prevent unplanned pregnancies and abortions are to make sure that people know how to properly protect themselves. And that is why Planned Parenthood is getting into the sex education business. Not to have more abortions, but to have less. Only 3% of what Planned Parenthood does is abortion. And by the way, abortion, it's not like it's illegal. It's legal. It's safe and legal and constitutional. It shouldn't be a problem how much abortion services they do. But there's the facts. This isn't some way to drum up business for the abortion business, the abortion cartels. No, this is about protecting people from having unplanned pregnancies. And this Hooker guy is a fucking moron.